Hey guys! So this sketch and chat is going to be a little bit different. Originally I wanted to upload a video about decorating my sketchbook, but I haven't been feeling too well, so this is more accessible for me right now. My gosh, so much stuff is going on. Jim Ward, the voice actor behind Captain Qwark, he recently passed away, and I'm still processing it, to be honest. And I really wanted to make some tribute art. So I'm gonna be talking about my experience with Ratchet and Clank, also how I got to know Jim Ward, like, not personally, that would have been insane, but as an actor, like, to know his work, and just how it impacted me, how Captain Qwark is like my favorite, one of my favorite. Is he a side character? He is a side character that pretty much garnered like main character status. He's that good. To my knowledge, Ratchet and Clank was released in 2002, which, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And it still holds up today. Like, I finally started playing the first game. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't grow up playing Ratchet and Clank, admittedly, but I did know about it. And I have to say that it has to be one of the biggest influential, pretty much like everyone knows, this platformer in gaming. I started playing the first one, and as an adult, I'm thinking, holy crap, this is fun, this is crazy, this is good. No duh. I know little me would be stumped, but I'm so happy that I'm starting to play it now and enjoy. I feel like a kid, and it's pretty great. So let's talk about, let's get on, let's do it. To be honest, I'm nervous. Trying not to be, because my brain is like very scatterbrained, but oh boy. Captain Qwark. Captain Leslie Copernicus Qwark. He doesn't like to say his first name, the goober. First time the earliest thing I could remember with seeing Ratchet and Clank was an ad for a Crack in Time. I believe it was for a Crack in Time. I saw it while I was at a Blockbuster with my family, checking out something. Shout out to video game rental places. It was one of those like mascots in gaming that like, if you knew, you knew. But after like, also, okay, I lied. I did have some exposure playing, but it was like not with the mainline games. Technically my first Ratchet and Clank game would be the spin-off, I think, Special Agent or Secret Agent Clank on PSP. And then it went to just a little taste of a Crack in Time, because PlayStation, it was when PlayStation Now was a thing. Oh boy. And I used my free trial just trying to just consume a Crack in Time. The storytelling's really good, of course. But yeah, I always found myself wanting more, and I had YouTube, well, the internet, and I would look up clips about Qwark, Nefarious, Ratchet, Clank, and thankfully I have not like spoiled myself, because I really want to consume as much as I can. It feels like this long animated movie epic that needs just to be devoured. Started exploring, this may be embarrassing. Should I expose myself? Technically, Captain Qwark is like one of my first video game crushes, I'm not gonna lie. Which is pretty funny, because you would think it would be like another, what, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, crazy. I love how goofy he is. And he has like this je ne sais quoi when it comes to, well, of course his voice, his superhero esque voice, but he is not a superhero. Like, he is not. He thinks he is, and he can be, to my knowledge. I mean, he did do good things, right? But he's like a sellout. He's a parody, I feel, of a superhero. And I love that. It reminds me of The Tick, which is another piece of media I love. But I think that's really funny and so intriguing, and just I love him. Oh yeah, and then when the movie came out, I wanted to see it so badly, and I did, in theaters. I was so happy because this was technically the first time, to my knowledge, that there's a video game animated movie in theaters. And this was before like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the animated movie. But yeah, and it was PlayStation, like a PlayStation animated movie, which insane. And I was so happy. Oh, I love the animation. The beginning's a little bit fast-paced, but because I know it was from the remake that was on PS4. And that's another one that I played when the PS4 was around, and is around, not say was, but as the PS4 came out, so did this game, and it was good times. I remember seeing like a demo station area at a Toys R Us when I would travel out of town to see my family, and it was like when my grandfather was alive. And I remember going, it was like our little tradition to go to Toys R Us when we went out of town, because we didn't really have one in my hometown. And I remember just playing this demo station and falling in love with this game. Like, it felt like it was always meant to be. Oh boy, what else? I just want to say, like, I still am trying to process things, to be honest. And I'm so grateful that I got to know Jim Ward's work, especially as Captain Qwark. Especially in childhood, he did play Doug Dibadone from Fairly Odd Parents. He did play Krauser from Resident Evil. I didn't know that. I just found out about that. I was like, what? But he was so talented and so cool, and he had a big impact on the media I consumed as a kid and now as an adult. And what I love about video games, especially this series, the platforming adventure style series types of games, you feel so grounded. Now with like games, I've noticed, of course, like everything is changing constantly. You have like your loot crates, you got your online multiplayer shooting games and stuff like that, and it's getting to a point where single player adventure style games kind of feel like, I don't want to say niche because they're still around, but it just feels like it's becoming a lost art. And Ratchet and Clank is one of those games where it was so influential that it's a chapter. It's a huge monumental chapter in gaming and in video games and storytelling in the media in general, to be honest. But that's why, oh my gosh, I just love it. It's fun. I was looking at this box because I just got Going Commando. And on the back of it, it says, oh my, wait, no, not that one. There's another one. I believe a critic was comparing it to a Pixar movie that you could play. And I was thinking, holy crap, yep, yeah. Nowadays, I'm finding myself playing more single player games. I always have, but I'm like going back. I'm going back to the old ones, the oldies and goldies. And with Ratchet and Clank, it's just home. And even though I didn't grow up playing the series, I always knew it was a huge staple. And I'm glad now with my adult brain I am playing it, because I'm getting the jokes. Crazy. There's some stuff I'm like, how did that go past the writing room? Oh my god. Getting the jokes, getting to do the side quests. I'm doing one right now, but I know I will need to backtrack, and I got a new gun, so it's a flamethrower. Oh man. Anyways, I'm just so, it feels like I'm a kid again. Like, that's the best way I can describe this feeling of just going back, playing some older games. And this was like before we had smartphones. Oh my god, life was so much better. I'm a hypocrite, but I don't care. I honestly feel like my mental health was so much better before smartphones. Anyways, I just love that. And I love that Ratchet and Clank is just this time capsule. Like, it is forever. I would love to just do more of these type of videos, like talk about, with more structure, of course. This is very last minute, and I'm sorry about that. But I hope I'm not sounding insensitive. I just been going all around in my brain. But I'm so happy that I get to talk about Qwark and Ratchet and Clank. I hope I talked. But here, let's talk about the piece. So I'm gonna be completely honest, guys. I did not plan the composition. I did do like a pyramid type of thing where it's like a triangle. I wanted Qwark to take most of the canvas because it's about him right now. And sorry guys, of course they're in the front. You guys are the main characters. But and there's a Ratchet. I don't draw a lot of anthro characters, and I want to experiment more with different characters besides humans, especially robots. And so but I'm happy that I managed to get something done. I believe this took probably close to 2 hours, but I'm not sure. I know it took over an hour because as I was screen recording this, my device was getting so packed of memory. I was like, oh shoot. Here I am just adding just the finished details on top of the flat colors. And for Qwark, I have this brush that mimics a colored pencil because I am so familiar with traditional media that I just need something that mimics it to help me get comfortable and stuff. I also use it for my sketching. Petra's pencil pack, I use it for sketching. And I use the, I think it'll show on there, but it's like for traditional. I think it's from True Grit, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just coloring using a clipping mask to clip onto the flats. I am not an expert by all means on digital. I am still learning, to be honest. I want to note, I tried to experiment with gradient maps on that, but I don't know. I always put an overlay at the end. I love how artists can like put an overlay and it just pulls it all together, but mine looks awkward. So we're working on that. I'm so glad to exist on the same timeline that Ratchet and Clank exists. That's cool. Despite all the crazy things happening right now. I would say it's like one of the forefathers. I'm gonna say it. I feel like Ratchet and Clank is one of the forefathers like in platformers, especially for its time coming into the modern gaming of the early 2000s with the PlayStation 2 just coming out to the public. Like, Ratchet and Clank really established itself, and it was awesome. I feel like it was a nice nod, especially for the growth of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, Jak and Daxter. Like, this specific genre of games is so near and dear to my heart because I grew up playing them mostly in movie style, but I did grow up playing Spyro and Crash, and yeah, it was a good time. I'm gonna say Jim Ward is phenomenal, was and still is phenomenal, and to be honest, I don't think I would have gotten too much into like Ratchet and Clank if it weren't for Captain Qwark, because he was the one that started it all for me, which is wild. And over like a long time, I always thought this was so obscure, it's too cool for me, like I want to touch this game, but I don't know how. And now I'm like, I am, and I'm going to experience every moment of it and just have a good time while I can. Here we're approaching the end, adding the details, and I tried to make Clank less freaky. I noticed that he has big green orbs of eyes, and it makes him look cute. So I tried to hold on to that to not make him too small. And I attempted to make a little glow effect, but I don't know. This was actually really, in a way, this was very stress relieving because I have been going through an art slump with my mental and physical health and trying to navigate being like, what am I gonna do with my life and stuff. So in this world right now, in this climate. So I'm happy that I was able to make this and talk about a series near and dear to my heart, even though I wasn't like really too much into on the ride, but it did affect me. And just want to say like thank you for watching and thank you for listening, and shout out to Ratchet and Clank, most importantly Jim Ward. You, sir, thank you. Just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for just playing a huge pivotal role in my childhood. Games and art in general have always helped me be able to communicate with people, being someone that is, well, neurodivergent, and it's pretty difficult with anxiety and all that mental jazz. It's always nice to be able to find that source of media to escape in and to just grow and better yourself as a person. I'm going to leave this video with one of my favorite Captain Qwark moments, and thanks for watching.
Good evening, adoring fans of the Academy. My name is Copernicus Qwark, and this is someone far less important. When the Academy asked me to accept this award for Outstanding Dramatic Achievement in a 2D, top-down, third-person, open-world action-adventure platformer, I was truly humbled. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine a day when a superhero could achieve so much just by being awesome. Read it and weep, Nathan Drake. And so, as I I'm in the middle of... What do you mean the award was cut? Then what the heck are we doing here? Am I hosting? Jay Moore? Well, that does it. They'll let anyone run this thing. Raoul, bring the ship around. We're out of here.